On August 30th, Sephora's life began to crumble after she dropped Chance off at Love's barbershop in Placentia before heading off to work at St. Joseph's Hospital. Later that night, Love called to tell her he was rushing Chance to the hospital.
Welcome back, and thanks for being here. I'm Cassie, and this is A Wicked World. The story I have for you today is about a little boy who is left in the care of a man whom his mother trusted. And she especially trusted him because she had met him through church. But things would not end well at all. This is the story of Chance Crawford. Chance Aiden Crawford was born on February 7, 2018, in Torrance, California, to his mother, Charlene Sephora, and his father, Vance Crawford. He was said to be a loving, sweet, charming, inquisitive, outgoing, and wise beyond his years little boy. He had many friends, and he very much enjoyed going to church each week with his family. He also loved to draw everything and anything. His favorite thing to draw was his most loved cartoon character, Mickey Mouse. And speaking of Mickey, Chance loved watching the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, as well as classic Disney movies and Sesame Street. Around the time he was 4, the little boy had attended the Julia Lee Performing Arts Academy in Lake Elsinore, California, where he performed in musical plays, and his teacher said that he was just a delight to have in their class. After Chance's parents split up, sometime in 2023, he and his mother Charlene moved about an hour away to Lakewood, California. And here, the little boy began attending MacArthur Elementary School. Chance had actually just finished his 3rd day of 1st grade on August 29, 2024, when around 6:30 p.m., his mother dropped him off at Cobblestone Barbershop on Lakeview Avenue in Placentia. Charlene's friend Ernest Lamar Love was employed as a barber here, and he had agreed to watch the little boy overnight while the mother went to her job as a nurse's assistant at Providence St. Joseph Hospital. Charlene had actually met Ernest, who also goes by the name Azariah, at a church that was located in Lake Elsinore, California, called Amazing Church. He had been employed there working in the church's child ministry, and was also said to be a prophet. Ernest and Charlene had become friends shortly after meeting, and according to her, he was a nice guy whom she trusted. He had also helped her son Chance in learning some new things, as well as overcoming his fears.
Yes. You did that, man. See that? There's going to be a lot of stuff you're scared of, but it don't matter. You got to push through it.
Okay.
This is one of the many videos Ernest Lamar Love sent to Chance's mom anytime he babysat.
But just hours after Charlene dropped 6-year-old Chance off at the barbershop, Ernest called her up and said that he was rushing her son to the hospital. According to him, he'd brought the little boy to the park, and while there, Chance had been doing some jumping jacks, when suddenly he fell down and hit his head hard. So Ernest drove him to the emergency room, and when he arrived at the Children's Hospital of Orange County around 1:30 in the morning, he walked in carrying the boy in his arms. Chance was unconscious and struggling to breathe. He was in bad shape, and it did not look like he had just fallen down after doing some jumping jacks, as he had multiple suspicious injuries on his body. Doctors discovered that much of the 6-year-old's flesh was missing from his buttocks, leaving raw, gaping wounds. Chance also had a subdural hematoma, extreme brain swelling, and other injuries that looked to be consistent with a violent shaking. They additionally discovered that the little boy had a healing fracture to his shoulder blade, meaning that it would have had to have taken place days or weeks prior and was now just starting to heal. All of these wounds left medical staff suspicious of the story that they'd been given by Ernest, and so they contacted the authorities. Chance would fight for his life as he remained in a coma for several days. But after doctors declared the 6-year-old brain dead, on September 3rd, 2024, he was removed from life support and passed away shortly after. Following this, 41-year-old Ernest Lamar Love was placed under arrest, and he was charged with murder, torture, and CA causing death. He pleaded not guilty to his charges and is currently being held without bail. He's facing a maximum of 32 years to life, plus an additional 5 if he's found guilty on all his charges. Shortly after his arrest, the district attorney would say about Chance's death, "Words do not exist to describe the absolute terror this little boy was forced to endure. All at the hands of someone who was supposed to be protecting him, not torturing him to death." Then, police uncovered video surveillance footage that had been taken on the evening that Ernest had rushed Chance to the hospital. It showed Ernest walking into the barbershop carrying a large piece of lumber. A rather reluctant Chance is seen walking behind him. This was after the pair had returned from a nearby park, and less than 3 hours after Chance's mother had dropped him off, so sometime between 7 and 9 p.m. It's believed that Ernest had taken this raw piece of lumber and beaten Chance with it, after the little boy had accidentally peed himself at the park. Following the beating, Ernest poured hydrogen peroxide on Chance's wounds, then forced him to do rigorous physical exercise, including push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks. When this caused the little boy to collapse, he rushed him to the hospital. Come to find out, this evil man, 41-year-old Ernest Lamar Love, is actually the father of 7 children himself. And while he had previously worked as a children's minister at the church where Chance's mother had met him, he had recently been suspended. And the reason for that suspension? Well, it was due to him having inappropriate relationships with multiple women. According to a former member of the church, every few months, he would have a different woman there with him.
How could you do this to a child? Like, it doesn't warrant what happened.
Love, who went by Azariah, was part of Amazing Church in Lake Elsinore as a minister and prophet.
He did the right things. He helped people move. He helped give advice. Like he's, helped people, start businesses.
But he had been suspended from his roles due to inappropriate behavior with women. They never suspected he would be capable of doing what he's accused of.
We poured so much into him and he failed us. He failed us. He failed our faith. He failed us. He failed Charlene.
Most importantly, they say he failed Chance.
Ernest was also known to have anger issues and a prior criminal history. Back in 2016, he had been charged with corporal injury to a child, corporal injury of a spouse, CA and endangerment, and disorderly conduct. He was found guilty on all the charges except for corporal injury to a child. Following the little boy's death, Chance's mother, Charlene, spoke publicly, and she said that her heart was crushed knowing that the person she believed would take care of her 6-year-old son is accused of causing him such unimaginable pain. She continued by stating, "I want justice for my son because he did not deserve that. I trusted him with my son. He died a brutal death. It was brutal. He did not deserve to go out that way."
I was genuinely blindsided. I trusted him with my son.
He did tell me that he was doing jumping jacks. He had him working out and he fell and hit his head.
And that's what's hard for me because I believed him when he told me.
But the thing is, Chance had a fractured collarbone that was in the process of healing at the time of his death, meaning it had to have occurred sometime prior to that night. So Charlene should have been aware of it. The little boy's family has since said that ever since Chance moved with his mother to Lakewood, she kept him away from his father and other members of his paternal family. One relative also said that the mother was sleeping with Ernest, and she had tried to keep the injuries that he had caused to Chance a secret. So it's believed, though nothing's confirmed, that Charlene knew Ernest was hurting her son. And regardless of this, she had still left him in his care on multiple occasions. Now, there's also been a post made on Reddit by someone who claims that they worked at the hospital where Chance was brought. Though I'm not exactly sure how valid this is, I'm going to go ahead and share it with you anyways. The post states that the boy's mother was acting very odd when she arrived at the emergency room. She kept coming and leaving, she wouldn't hand over documents to social workers, and she marked Chance as do not resuscitate after being there for only a few hours. The post additionally states that Charlene called her life insurance to check on her son's policy while he was still laying in the hospital fighting for his life. While these allegations were being made online against Charlene, Chance's father, Vance, said that she didn't take the opportunity to even defend herself, giving way to further suspicion that these things are true. Vance has also stated that he believes Ernest is a monster and he hopes that he gets what he has coming. The father additionally spoke about his son and said, "Seeing my son like that from the time he was brought in is just devastating. He didn't even die peacefully. He died a tragic death. It's not fair. Just like why? Why would this happen to him? He didn't get to live the rest of his life. He's 6 years old. I wanted to see my son graduate. He lived a happy life. He was a great kid. I love my son. I miss him so much. He didn't deserve that." Chance Crawford's family held a vigil for him on the night of Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. And they all described him as a sweet, always smiling, and great kid. The vigil was held at a park in Cerritos, California, which his relatives had chosen since that's where the little boy had his Mickey Mouse-themed 5th birthday party.
A tearful goodbye to 6-year-old Chance Crawford as a grieving family tries to remember him in happier times.
Oh, sweetest kid, just a bundle of joy.
But amid the tears, there's anger as Chance's family just found out the cruel and brutal details of his death.
It hit me like a ball of fire, bro, and man, it's just been tragic. Like, how can someone that's portrayed to be so much of a saint can do this to a innocent young child that's only 6 years old?
Chance's funeral was held on Saturday, October 5th, 2024, at the Holy Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church in Los Angeles, California. He was later buried at Inglewood Park Cemetery in Inglewood, California. Well, thank you for listening to Chance's story today. What this man did to this 6-year-old little boy is absolutely horrific. His skin was peeling off when he was brought into the hospital, and he also had serious head injuries. It makes me wonder what Ernest had been doing to this poor little boy prior to this. Hopefully, he gets the maximum possible punishment, especially since this is not the first time he's hurt a child. And if Chance's mother was aware that he was hurting her son prior, hopefully she gets what's coming to her as well. So, if you like true crime and you want to hear it from me, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. And turn on your notifications too, so you'll know when I upload a new video, which is at least 3 times every single week. Thanks for watching A Wicked World today. Until next time, take care guys. Bye. Thank you to all the patrons of A Wicked World. Now, there's even more of A Wicked World on Patreon, so check it out on patreon.com/awickedworld. Or use the Patreon app. You'll have access to exclusive videos each month and more. Any support truly helps to make sure the victims are never forgotten and to highlight the shortcomings of society associated with each case. Do you have a suggestion for a story you'd like to see me cover? If so, send me an email to awickedworldtruecrime@gmail.com.